Hello everyone, this is the Christian Night Podcast with me, Sonic Knight 20.
Me, Cristian Inferno.
And today we're going to talk about dreams and portals and other supernatural shit, as we usually do.
Yeah, I think a good way to start this little conversation off is the fact that I'll just say a little experience that I've had that I think is worth sharing. Is when I was a kid, I lived in the same house. It was my grandparents' house. It was my grandfather, my grandmother, my mother, her 3 sisters, and her brother, all in the same house. And then me, of course. And I was the first, like, grandkid, the first, like, of my mother and her siblings to have a kid. So, you know, it was a big house in Cincinnati where I reside. I'm not going to tell y'all the address of the street or nothing, or the part of town, because, like, y'all really need to know that. But if you know me, you know what the house is. But there was basically, like, a giant basement, kind of. Like, 2 people slept in the basement because there was, like, a little laundry room that was, like, open, then a little bathroom and a shower, then, like, this weird closet, like, storage space, and then like, the door opened up, there's a little garage, and then there was, like, a massive, like, thing that, like, just like a giant room that a couple, like, I think my uncle stayed in it, or 2 of my aunts stayed in it at the time. I'm not sure which one. I can't really remember off the top of my head for real, because I only lived there with them until I was 4, but that's not important. So if you've ever seen, like, Billy and Mandy or Danny Phantom, I always had this I don't know if it's a nightmare or if it's just a dream, but I had this dream that, like, you open the door to that closet that was in the basement area, and there'd be, like, this green portal with white swirls that just, you open it up, and open it up, and that's what is behind it. It always fucked with me, and, like, I feel like I actually saw it, and then it's like one of those things I can never tell. Yeah, I can never tell whether I actually saw that or if it's just a dream or a nightmare. But, like, it's something. It's it's one of the only dreams that I remember, because, like, it is always in my
so
mind.
Prominent,
it always fucks with me.
And when you do see stuff like that, not that it happens often, but, like, if you were to see something like that, it would be really surreal, and you probably wouldn't be able to tell if that was a dream or not, especially if you were really young. Like, if that happened now, you'd probably be able to tell, but, like, since you were a kid, it'd probably be really hard to tell if that was actually happened or not.
They lived in that house until I was maybe, like, 9 or 10 years old. So when I was, like, 9 years old, maybe, I might have been 8 when they moved out of there. So, I mean, the first 8 years of my life, I was over there very frequently. I lived there for about 4.5 years, and then I may not have been living there, but I was pretty much there every single day for about 8 years. So, you know, there's no telling what could have happened, but I don't remember the first 8 years of my life that well, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't tell whether I actually saw that or not, but, like, I have, you know, I have a feeling like that something was off about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it might have been something.
It
might have been some experience or something you had that just really made you think weirdly about that fucking, like, room, and that's just kind of what happened, like, due to an overactive imagination or something. Cause like when you're a kid, you have, like, the smallest thing can make you feel weird or creeped out about something. So, like, I think maybe something happened.
It's kind of affecting me into my adult life, because, like, I don't know if you do this, but when I go downstairs in my house now, like, it's just a normal little downstairs, but I still run up the stairs every single time. Like, no matter what, I go down there to get something, I'll be doing something, but when I'm done, I run up the stairs. Like, it's like an impulse. Like, I can't even control it.
Yeah,
like, it's just something I do.
I mean, I don't do that, but I certainly know what you mean. Like, cause everything's kind of, not sound all like philosophical and shit, but like everything's kind of based on what you experience in those first couple of years, so like it kind of shapes how you are later on. So I mean, it, like I said, like, it can be the smallest thing, like just like that, like, and it'll have you having weird impulses and shit. Like I used to like, I think I talked about this on another episode, but fuck it. I used to have like a lot of hallucinations as a kid, and I don't know why. I honestly have no fucking clue why, because at a certain age they stopped, and it's like I wasn't on any medication back then or anything, so like I don't know what was wrong with me. Like maybe I had like mild schizophrenia or some shit. I don't know.
How do you know that you were even having hallucinations and the shit wasn't just real?
I mean, I don't, but like some of the stuff I saw was like it didn't make any sense, but it was very
Give me
vivid.
an example of something you saw.
All right. I'll give you the most vivid, most like clear one that happened to me. So my friend, well, ex-friend now basically, but I think you know, he was over my house. He slept over my house, and so we slept on the couches. There's a couch that can see out the window in the same room where the front door is in, and there's a couch that cannot. I was on the couch that can see out the window. So the sun came up and shit, and for some reason I was like, I don't know, I was all tired and shit. I kind of woke up for a second. I don't know, I was just up for some reason, and I looked out the window and I saw my friend like standing outside, because where that window is, it's low enough that I can see the cars outside. I can't see the bottom of them, but I saw outside like next to a car, and it looked like he was like opening the door to the car, like he was getting in or out, and like that's what I saw, and it was like really vivid. Like it was like it was him. Like there was no like mistaking it for anyone else. Like I knew that was him, but he was on the couch next to me, like he was still asleep. So like it was really fucking weird.
Well, that sounds like some other dimensional stuff rather than just a hallucination. Who knows? Like that's a hard thing to decipher.
Like I've had there's another really weird one. Like some of these are like I don't even tell a lot of people this shit, because no one, like a lot of people just don't believe me, and I don't blame them, so I just don't even bother. But like another one that happened is like, I don't know how to explain it. Do you know, like in school they have these doors that are like, they have like vents at the bottom of them, kind of like they're like curved holes, you know what I mean? So for some reason the holes were like really, they were like bright, like something was like shining off of them basically, and at first it was nothing, but for some reason it just kept getting brighter. Like the bottom of this door I was looking at, I don't know why, I was spacing out I guess, but this thing just kept getting fucking brighter, and it got to the point where it hurt to look at, and I was like, what the fuck? And eventually it just kind of died down and it didn't happen again. And at first I didn't think anything of it, but then later on I was like, that was really weird. Like I don't know, it was kind of like a light that's coming on slowly, like eventually it'll start to hurt to look at. That's what it was like. So I don't know,
I mean, that's weird, but here's the thing with anything like that is, yeah, sometimes people see something and they're meant to see it and nobody else is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's how I see something like that. like I was kind of saying with like the whole portal thing, like I don't remember most of my childhood for the most part. I mean, I remember important stuff, but like, you know, I don't. I think most people can say they don't remember most of the stuff that happened when they were little, because like it's just something that we don't remember. But like when I was little, I made a book where I drew a bunch of monsters, and I basically called it like the monsters, and like I just talking about that. I have no clue why I drew that, or like what my thought process was, or what made me even want to draw a bunch of monsters and make a legitimate book. Like,
what? So you didn't have you didn't have like any clear inspirations, like no movies or games or like toys?
I don't know what the context of why I made it in the first place was, and that kind of was like weird.
I mean, that is a little weird, because usually when kids do that, they have some sort of inspiration. Like I did, I made like, I used to draw like some random like robots, cyborg fucking things. But it was because I really liked Transformers, so I thought that was cool. So I just wanted to draw something like that without copying it completely. So that's just what I drew. And but like, I
mean, I could have had an inspiration, but I don't remember what it was. Per se.
I personally feel like you would remember the inspiration, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's weird. Like that kind of ties in. Like I
think that
understand
is
why I
weird.
did it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of weird to do something like that. I mean, I guess kids do stuff like that, but like they always have an inspiration. Like always, like kids look at shit and they're like, I want to do that.
I just can't remember like what drew me to. I'm sure I could ask my mom, and she'd probably be able to tell me like why I did it. But like as far as me, if you asked me, it was like, yo, I just saw that. Why'd you do that? And I'd be like, I made that when I was like 7, or probably I was probably younger. Yeah, I was probably like 4 or 5. It's like, why did you do that? Well, I don't know. Like, that's kind of unsettling to think about. Like, I just thought about that.
That's kind of weird.
It's like some kids have experiences like that where like they'll have imaginary friends, and it turns out their imaginary friends were like real and stuff like that. Like, have you ever heard anything like that?
I have, and I've always been skeptical. I try to always have an open mind with stuff. So like, I'm always thinking like, okay, yeah, you're thinking maybe that imaginary friend was real, and like that's all creepy and shit. But maybe not everything's all so sinister. Maybe it's not as fucking evil and creepy as it makes it out to be. Because obviously that thing, if it was real, obviously he didn't want to be seen by anyone but him, because they probably, or her, because they probably knew that that would disturb this world that we're in. So like, they chose not to be seen.
It doesn't even necessarily have to be supernatural or anything either. Like, I mean, by nature, pretty much, like in this instance, I guess most people would go to that. But like, there's no telling of what anything is, because like, how would we even know? So like, it's kind of like it's an interesting thing, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, the first instinct is to be creeped out, but like, I don't know, maybe, I don't think it's so bad, if that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with like, anything like that is, with memories and stuff that happens in the past, it always bothers me when like, I dream something or remember something, or you know, think of something, and it's like, what? I don't know if it's actually like real or not, and like that is always kind of like, I feel like that's part of our culture now, is something will be real and we'll have proof of it, and then someone doesn't want to get out, so they spread a bunch of fake things and throw a bunch of lies at it to kind of like
That's a big
make
problem.
what's real not real anymore. Like basically just like if you have a truth out there, you dilute it to the point where there's no way to tell if it's what's true,
Yeah,
what's not.
that's with everything, and it's kind of annoying because, like, it's kind of a shame because you don't know what the fuck's actually real anymore because everyone wants to fucking make fake shit. So no one really knows exactly what's real.
Yeah, and Donald,
anymore.
even our president, like I never would have heard of a president saying fake news before. Like nobody said anything like that. Like that's where our culture's at now. Everyone's just like, I don't want to believe in something, so I'm just gonna call it fake news and get on with my life and say that whatever somebody else is saying is fake because I don't want to believe that that's true. It's like 10 plus 10 is 20. It's like, well, I heard it's 15. You're saying it's, and then the person said it's 15 is like, I think you're spreading fake news because it's definitely 15. It's like, we all know it's fucking 20. Like 10 plus 10 is 20. That's not up for debate. Like people forget that just opinion. There's a big difference between opinions and fact, and there's a lot of things that you can have opinions on, and it'd be all right. But if something is a fact, like it's a fact. Like
that's why things are like all about beliefs now instead of like. I mean, yeah, facts are always good, but like, you don't know what is actually fact anymore.
That is the
so,
thing, is determining whether something's a fact is like hard because who even makes the shit in the first place?
And it gets exhausting. And at a certain point, you're like, well, I don't even give a fuck anymore. Like, if it's gonna be that hard.
Usually you just let someone believe what they want to believe because, like, at the end of the day, if you believe something, it probably ain't gonna bother me because, like, it's your belief. Yeah, go ahead and believe it.
Yeah.
Just don't put throw it in my face because like you already know I don't care about that shit and I don't see it the way that you do. So you might want to just drop it because like I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah. Like, dude, another I was gonna talk about another random hallucination I had. This one was a lot more subtle, and it could very well have been my eyes. This one time I was walking home from school. I was kind of old at this point. I was in middle school, and middle school is like kind of old. So like I was in middle, like I was old enough to know what the fuck's going on. Like is the bottom line. And for some reason in the sky there was I don't know, this cloud was like really fucking like purple and vibrant and saturated, kind of like if I was on like a psychedelic drug or something. That's kind of what it was like, but it was only in a certain area. Like it didn't spread, it was only this one particular area, and I was just kind of gazing up at it for a while, and then eventually I was just like, you know, I just walked home. So that one was kind of weird. And I remember I told Adam at the time, which is my friend for people who don't know, and he just kind of said like, well, when you like rub your eyes or something and look in the sky, like that's kind of, well, that's not what it was. Like I could clearly see.
He always tries to think of something like logical, but then he'll not even come up with something that's actually logical.
I mean, it's a natural thing to do, but like that, I knew that's not what it was.
You'd have to like really press on your eyes. Like you would have to like press on your eyes and rub on them really hard to have residual like images.
Yeah. And I knew that's not what it was. First off, I don't remember.
Not saying that Adam's wrong. Like,
not that he's definitely wrong. It's just I
he's a smart
don't
guy.
remember doing that.
That's clearly not what it was. There's really no way to tell.
Because
and
I feel like it wouldn't have stood out if, like, I feel like it wouldn't have, because, you know, normal human shit like that, it doesn't stand out to you to the point where you remember it. Like, if it was just that, I wouldn't remember it today. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's the problem with stuff like this, is with our consciousness and whatnot. everything we see is kind of just like a hallucination anyway. You know,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like our consciousness kind of dictates what's real and what isn't.
What we see is
like,
kind of
everything
not even. Yeah, everything's kind of completely dependent on what our consciousness, what things just so happen to turn out to look like from our consciousness.
Yeah, so really everything doesn't look like what it actually looks like, because everybody sees shit differently. So everybody's world is pretty much completely different.
I mean, now that you say that, though, like it could be like your consciousness, like you kind of got a glimpse of what it's like when your consciousness is showing what's actually there. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just it's confusing.
It depends on what it is, but yeah, I think stuff like that is true. You know, I've seen stuff that I look and I'm like, what? Like, there's so many moments I've had like that, and there's no way to really tell what's true and what's false. Most of the time, I just go and say, well, I feel like there's multiple dimensions that are all coexisting, and sometimes other stuff peeks through that you're not supposed to see, or sometimes stuff has the ability to, if it wants to show you,
I mean,
it'll show you.
If you're going by the theory that's like, sometimes stuff gets through. I mean, we're not flawless beings, so that makes sense. Like, because like, our consciousness is like really powerful to the point where like, I don't know if you knew this, but like, the world normally, I don't know how the fuck science figured this out, but the world normally, our eyes see it upside down. Naturally, we see things upside down, but our brain flips it for us so that we know, so that we're not disoriented. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah, well,
it's fucking
it makes
crazy.
sense because like with gravity, we're stuck on the ground and the sky is technically up. So if the sky is up, the sky's technically down because our feet are on the ground. So technically,
so
what's
if
up
we
is
saw
down, and
if we saw things upside down,
we would just float away. So if you think about it, it makes sense that everything we would see be upside down.
Yeah, imagine how much harder it would be, like, if we.
Well, we'd adapt to it.
Yeah, we would. I guess we would.
For our whole lives, we would be fine because we'd be used to it, and it wouldn't be like a big deal to us at that point.
Yeah. But just the fact that your mind flips it like that, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, well, look, they have stuff like placebo effect, and literally they have trials where people are seriously injured, and then they believe that they're not, and like then they feel fine after that.
Those make me so mad.
And then like, well, that just shows you, like, especially even with mental disorders, they're all in your mind. They're all just stuff about your consciousness.
So
like, if
no
you
two
can
people are the same.
teach someone to train their consciousness to not, you know, like not engage that stimuli, or not, you know, not deal with that shit, then like you can literally like change someone's entire perspective on something, and then it changes everything for them.
Yeah, I mean, it really is amazing, like, what the shit your brain can do. Like, this is slightly off topic, but like, when you experience something really traumatic, where it had to the point where it has no benefits of remembering it, your brain almost completely erases it so that you don't remember it. And a lot of people do completely forget about the things that happened to them, but they know that something happened to them. So if no one in life was there to remind them of what happened to them, they actually wouldn't know. Like, they probably would never find out unless they looked into it, because their brain naturally blocks that kind of shit out because it knows it's not helping you, and that's probably what's best to do. So
like, it's crazy that we do all this stuff. We build houses, we build technology, we made literally apps where you take a picture and put it in, millions of people can see. Like, we've made so much different crazy technology. Like, if we told someone 200 years ago about all this stuff, they wouldn't even begin to understand any of it. They wouldn't understand any of it.
Okay, but
We don't
What
understand
reason?
anything about our own consciousness and our own minds, really.
Yeah,
Like,
all we
of
know
it
is that we're
theorized.
all we know is that we're extremely smart, so like, you know, for random stuff to poke through our consciousness that isn't typically seen isn't that far-fetched, considering we don't know everything about our minds yet, which is still
we
crazy
don't know
to
very
think.
much at all, really. We know like
Yeah,
pretty much nothing.
I heard
we
I
know
heard
literally
scientists
nothing, pretty much.
I heard scientists don't know, they still do not know why exactly we have consciousness. Like, they don't know exactly why we have this. We just kind of do. They know,
really,
like,
as far as science goes, we don't know anything, really. We
I
know
mean,
just like
I feel
random
like,
shit, but like anything that's important, we don't have the answer to.
yeah, stuff,
Anything
especially stuff
philosophical,
about
we don't know the
us.
answer to.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we don't really even know our past. We don't even know where we came from or why we're here. Like, we don't even know, like, what the significance of why we even have... We don't even know why we have intelligence. We theorize why.
Yeah.
But, like, we
theorize why
have
we're
zero
just
clue,
smart.
actually. We basically just theorize and put all these theories up there to make it seem like it and be like, oh, yeah, we'll just go with that. But really, it's like, we literally don't have any clue, and we're only making up answers to like make ourselves feel better to that we actually
Just to have
like,
something there
have
to
answers.
say.
Yeah,
Like, literally, that's
basically
much
like a placeholder. Like, it doesn't even matter because it's just a theory, and they're just like, well, maybe people will feel better if we give them some false answers, or it's not really false answers, if we give people something to think about rather than just leaving it uncertain.
Yeah.
You know,
Because,
that drives
yeah.
people crazy, is not having the answer to something.
Yeah, as a species where we're so intelligent, I guess that naturally does just kind of bother us. That thing about the how our brain flips the world back downside up was fucking crazy to me. Like, I was like, well, how? And how did you find that out? Is a better question. Like, how could you possibly have known that? I really don't get that.
I'm sure there's some people that their brain doesn't work like that, and their brain kind of just lets them see upside down.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. There might actually be because people have
there's some people
insane
that,
conditions.
you know, like, your brain kind of dictates how you see the world. Like, it literally can dictate how you literally see the world. Like, your eyesight, what
it's
colors
pretty
you see.
nuts.
Like, people are colorblind and stuff like that. And it's like, maybe it's the same thing. Someone is different the way that their mind works, and they just see the world for how it actually is, so they see it upside down.
Yeah, maybe it was just like that guy with the upside down, or guy or girl upside down mind. They find out,
and they
well,
probably
our
would
minds
never
are
even
modified
know.
versions
They'd
of it.
probably, since that's probably how they've always saw it, they wouldn't understand like any difference between anybody else.
What's the big
They're
deal?
just like, yeah, this is how the world is. Maybe I'm seeing the world upside down right now, and I'm so used to it, like, I don't, that it's right side up to me, and if you could see through my eyes, you'd be like, yeah, you're actually looking at this the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's like looking at a map, and the map's upside down, but the map looks right side up to me, and then you look at the map, you're like, yo, this is the way it's supposed to be, and I'll be like, I've been following it and getting to the place I need to go, so maybe you're looking at it the wrong way, you know, or something like that.
It has to be like some sort of, like, to find that out, it has to be like physics or something in your brain. It's like, how the fuck else would you find that out? Like, because, like you said, if someone did see upside down, there's no way you'd really be able to tell. I mean, I guess they could do some tests. I don't know what you would do. But
how would you be? Because you can't see through someone else's eyes.
yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
So, and I'm thinking,
how would
like,
you even know? You'd have to go by their word, and what do they say?
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't know, because it'd be normal to them. So
yeah.
they wouldn't even know that
And see-
they're seeing upside down.
And see, you can't really do a test because, like, say you were like, look at that. Is that further up or is that further down? If they say up, that's gonna be like, even if it is down, to them they know that as up. So like that's confusing. Like we're just gonna be like, oh well, then he sees the same as us. Like
yeah, it's crazy. They don't even know why we like dream or anything like that. You know, it's like they don't know nothing. They don't know any. They don't know anything. Any of the reasons behind pretty much any of our functions.
We know about dreams, but for the most part, we don't know why exactly we dream.
Yeah, and really we know little about like dreaming and why we dream, and pretty much anything about a subject like that. We know like so little about it. They're just like, well, we think this is why, and it's like, so basically you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I think is stupid? When those things that are like, if you see this and this and this in your dream, then it means this. And I've had dreams where those are completely fucking wrong. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you can't predict what something means in someone else's dream, just anyone else's dream. Like, they mean, like...
Yeah, they'll be like, if you see the color green, that means good luck, but it's like, yo, the grass is green. So, I mean, because I see grass, like, that's something that's probably in everybody's dreams. Like,
dude,
every dream that they have, because the grass is literally everywhere. Like...
Yeah, a popular one. They say, if you're either in a car or you see a car going up a hill, just up anything, that means it's positive, like it's good. No matter what it is, it's positive. But that's not true. I'm sure someone somewhere has had a dream where a car is going up and it's fucking bad. Like that, you can't, like, that doesn't make any sense for that to be like confirmed. Like, yes, that is.
Yeah, and like there's like dreams people have where they feel like they're falling. Like I used to have that every once in a while I'm having a dream, and I'll literally just kind of like jolt because I felt like I was literally like falling.
Yeah,
and, like, I just caught myself. I'm like, what? It's like,
yeah, that happens.
I don't think there's. I mean, there might be some symbolism meaning to it, but I'm pretty sure like it's just like a random occurrence that happens.
I think it's a random occurrence. That's just another one of the things that your brain randomly fucking does that we don't understand. Like a lot of
yeah, there's probably meaning behind
stuff.
it, but you know, we don't really know. Like there's no way to really tell.
Honestly, I think a lot of the like sleep disorders and stuff like that, I think a lot of that is just stuff like it is like natural shit, but we just don't have the stuff to figure it out. Like I mean, some of it could very well not be. Like, some of it could be, like, outside source of some sort. Like, but I think a lot of it is, like, we have no way how to possibly figure out what that is. So it's just, we're just fucking guessing for now.
Yeah, it's pretty confusing as far as, like, we don't have any answers pretty much, so...
Yeah, which is annoying for people.
Theorizing.
That's really annoying for people who do have a lot of those problems, though, because those people who have those problems, they don't understand themselves and they want help, but we don't understand them either, so they can't really get help because we don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but like it's all about consciousness, so like
we could prescribe
how do you
them
help
shit
somebody when like we don't even
we don't know what's wrong.
Yeah, and it's even more than that. It's like what do you want somebody to do? Like, there's really nothing you can at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, we can,
like, we
prescribe meds to them. We're so, like, with that kind of shit, we don't have, like, any knowledge. It's pretty annoying. It's like, oh, these meds will make you, have a lower chance at not feeling like you're falling in your sleep. It's like, well, it doesn't work guaranteed. So, and even if it did, it won't be that way for everyone anyway. So it's like you're never gonna fix something truly unless you know exactly what the problem is, and we don't. So those people kind of just don't get help. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, anything like that, because it's like medication only helps so much. So literally, even no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Like medication
For
will only
sure.
help you so much, no matter what it is being prescribed for.
But
like,
people will tell you otherwise. Like, psychiatrists will certainly tell you otherwise.
Yeah, no, like it's like basically just like a little thing to help you, rather than like medication's never gonna fix your
It's
problems.
not gonna fix anything. Yeah.
Yeah. No matter what problem you have, like it's not meant to fix your problem. It's meant to like to ease the problem down.
Yeah, that is why you have medication alongside doing whatever it is that you're trying to fix or get rid of. Like, you don't just have medication solely. That's not gonna help you. Like,
yeah, like if you're in pain and you need a surgery, yeah, you can take pain killers. It'll make you stop hurting, but it's not gonna fix it. Like, it's not gonna magically just be like, go in there and fix your whatever's wrong with you. Like, you need to exercise, or you need to like stretch it out, or you need to do something in order so it doesn't hurt anymore. And like, yeah, that can make it where it doesn't hurt for a while, but that's not gonna literally like help. It's not gonna like change. Where if you have like,
it's not gonna actually get to the root of the problem.
Or something. Like,
yeah,
I had like Prozac for a pretty good amount of time. Like, it didn't change. Like, I still have plenty of problems with it. Like, and I stopped taking it, and it really didn't change it much. Like, it changed it a little bit. I'll give you that. It did change it a little bit, but like,
it does.
Really
it does help a little. Like, I'm not gonna act like medication doesn't help, but like, it doesn't fix shit. Like, and I'm on. I'm usually on a lot of medication, so like.
Yeah, no, it's not meant to fix anything. It's meant to aid you in whatever you're trying to fix.
That's what like, sucks though,
a lot of people is what's crazy. I feel like a lot of people will take it as like, oh, well, it's meant to fix this, so they get the wrong attitude about it in the first place.
Which is completely wrong.
They actually just like don't want to fix whatever is wrong with them in the first place, so they just kind of use this as like a, well, this is what's actually gonna fix me and what's gonna help. But really, like, they just don't want to fix themselves in the first place. Like, they don't want to actually get any better, so they use like whatever they're taking is a, well, this is what I need to use to make me feel better or to help me, and then they're just like, really, I just don't want to actually feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worse with like problems that we just don't know much about. Like, that is the worst. I honestly can't imagine having that just uneducated on, because all we can do is guess, and that's terrible. Like, I don't know, because with me, like, you can have problems that are like not very common. Like, there's uncommon problems, and then there's rare problems, and uncommon problems you'll be guessing for a long time before you figure it out. So rare problems, it's like not even a guessing game. It's just you just won't fucking get help. I felt like giving you meds is kind of just like to ease your mind, so that you don't think you're just being left alone. Like, do it yourself.
And that goes somewhat with like the placebo effect, like we were talking before. Sometimes you give somebody something, and like, you know what they're thinking. Like, if you believe that something's wrong with you, then something is wrong with you, because the only thing that you need to have something wrong with you is to believe something's wrong with you. Like, it's kind of confusing, but I hope I like worded it the way that
I know what you mean. Like,
so then all you have to do is give somebody a reason to think that there's not something wrong with them, and then soon they'll find out, like, wait, so I didn't have someone believes that they have, like, you know, they have, I don't even know, they have 6 fingers on their hand, and like, you can clearly see there's 5, but since they believe there's 6, they see 6, then you give them this medicine and be like, yo, so this this medicine here is gonna take away your extra finger, and then they take that medicine, and you already know, because you can see they only have 5 fingers, but they took that medicine, and all of a sudden they're like, wait, I have 5 fingers now. And it's like, yeah, it didn't really do anything. It just kind of showed that, yeah, it changed your perspective, and then it actually real, pretty much.
Yeah, so, and that's all you can, for people that you actually can't help, that's all you can do. So all you can do is make them think that they're being helped to ease their mind. So I don't blame people for like doing that like false like placebo effect like thing. So
I'm sure that actually helps a lot of people and does stuff that's like, pretty good a lot of the time.
I guess it would. Like I'm kind of, I wonder if that's like a legitimate like thing they do to help people, like if that's a first option for anything, or if that's kind of just like a last resort, like we don't know what else to do, so let's just do that.
Yeah, I think it would make sense to try and do it, to be honest with you, because like most of the stuff, like how are you, especially with like mental disorders, it's literally all just it's in the word, it's a mental thing. So how do you get past mental roadblocks? You convince someone that it doesn't even exist in the first place.
Yeah.
Because you can't go in their mind and change something, because like they're the ones that are thinking of it. So what are you gonna do? Like you can't really do anything about it. Like you kind of just have to be like, well, that's what they believe. Let's try and convince them not to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, apparently that can kind of work for physical stuff too. Like you can just convince them to believe that whatever it is doesn't hurt as much as anymore, and people will literally just be like, oh yeah, I think it hurts less now, when it actually, there's no reason it should hurt less. It just doesn't, because you made them think that. So
yeah, and it makes sense to people. Like I don't know too much about it, but like what is it called, hypnosis? Like people literally be like, hypnotize you and be like, you don't feel that anymore, and then you're like, wow, my back doesn't hurt anymore, because somebody put a clock in front of you and spin, like, you know, put it back and forth, and then snapped their fingers at you and told you it doesn't hurt, and then all of a sudden, like, it doesn't hurt anymore.
I mean, call it bullshit if you want, but like, if it works, it works, you know?
Yeah, that's something like that I don't think is talked about enough. Like, I don't hear like people talk about hypnosis very often, and I think that's something that you would think, especially is how many people, like, how much it's shown and how many people like supposedly believe in it and how it helps people. You would think that a lot more people would talk about that. That seems like something that should be talked about.
Cause I feel like it's last resort though. Cause I feel like that's what they kind of, cause I don't think they ever turn to hypnosis and like persuading people until like they really don't know what to do anymore. Cause I've never like seen that as a first option. Like, you have this wrong with you, come into this hypnosis and we'll see.
I think some people that probably is the first thing that they do, just to be like, we don't think that anything's extra wrong, or like I think it's confusing.
You're breaking up for me.
Anything. I said I don't understand like anything about hypnosis at all, whether or not it's even real. Like I literally don't know it. Like it is. I'm pretty much 100 subject. I don't understand anything about it.
But what, you broke up again? You said you don't understand anything about it.
Understand it. How many people say it's real and stuff like that, and nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of crazy.
I guess like, everyone just thinks it's like fake. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like, and people that, like, you know, I listened to a couple different podcasts, and like I'm sure someone's probably talked about it, but like I can't remember ever hearing anybody really say anything about it. And to think, because that's a pretty interesting thing.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. I love to know like how actually effective it is, but like I don't know. I never hear anyone talking about it. So
Yeah, it's like a lot of people, and it's all these different things, yet nobody talks about it.
I think since no one talks about it, it becomes more of a like, even if it does help people, since no one talks about it, it becomes more of a like a legend or like a magic show because no one talks about it. If people talked about it, then it'd be more of a like, maybe that's an option instead of doing whatever like else you might want to do for your first option.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's supposed to be about literally. I don't even know. I don't understand it. I would think that something like that would be talked about more often. It's not. It's what like the whole thing that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see it get talked about more often, because it's like, I don't know. Since like I said, like since no one talks about it, it's not like looked at. It's more looked at as like, oh, that's not real. That's just what they do at magic shows and shit.
People look at it at
like,
all. Most people don't. It doesn't come conversation with any of the stuff that like you would think it would. Like I think it'd be talked about a lot, and I wish that we could talk about it more. But the fact that I don't know anything about it kind of makes it hard, and maybe that's why people don't talk about it.
That makes it hard.
Nobody.
I don't know. That makes it harder to believe that it actually does do anything, but since no one talks about it, so I'm thinking it really doesn't do anything. Because
yeah, but people don't talk about a lot of things, but there's a lot of things that are true that people just kind of don't want to talk about because they don't want to get into it because they don't understand why it works. Just because we don't understand why something works doesn't mean that it doesn't work, because we know for a fact that there's a lot of things we don't understand why they work, but for some reason they work, and there's a lot of things that work and happen and just natural occurrences that happen every single day that we're like, yeah, this is against pretty much everything that we know in all logic and all basically everything, but yeah, it works. We don't really understand why. Like that type of stuff happens all the time. So
yeah, now that I think about that, that's why it's not talked about, because like you say, even if it does actually work, because we don't understand why it works is why it's not talked about. Because how are you going to convince someone about hypnosis? It's like, oh, why would that work for me? There is no guarantee. You can't explain why it would work for them because you don't understand it. But if someone was to be like, ask, why would therapy work for me? You can give them the science of it, why that would work for you, because we understand that. So I guess that's why we don't talk about that.
Well, I guess people that do it and are really good at it, and they probably understand it, but like they probably say something and someone's like, yeah, that's not why it works. That's ridiculous. And then it's like, well, if you ask somebody a question and then they give you a ridiculous answer, what you think's ridiculous, just because you think something's ridiculous doesn't mean that like what they're saying is wrong. Like it probably is true.
If it worked, then how are you gonna write off anything they say? Like, if it worked.
Talk about more. Maybe I'm gonna have to do some research. Cause it's a pretty interesting thing in PRS Green.
I don't know, it's just one of those things you don't really think about. At least I don't. I never.
Yeah, exactly. It's
really
just something you don't think about, and it's like, especially in the community where people, there's like a little paranormal community where people just get really into all that stuff and like do a lot of research and.
But like I don't even hear about it there. Really.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I've never really come across it there, and that's like the one community that what they do is they ask questions about everything. They question everything and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And research and question everything and keep open mind. Yet you never hear them like talk about it. And be like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's
So
what
this
makes
is
me
the
think
thing.
it's not anything.
And then they're like,
Because even the community that has an open mind doesn't even look into talk about that shit. So like, that's what makes me think like, oh, I guess it really is nothing. Like, I don't know.
if anything, there'd be like a little thing where someone's like, yeah, here's why it doesn't work, or something like that. But you don't even get that. You don't even have people that
Yeah,
disprove it.
yeah, true. You don't even get. You don't
I've
even.
never
see
seen
that.
anybody that tried to just, it's not real. Like, I've never heard anybody even say that, I don't think, for real. And it's like, if that is something, you're gonna have people that are like, that'll at least talk about it and be like, yeah, you can't tell people all this wrong shit. It doesn't work. Here's why it doesn't work. I've never heard anybody say anything like that about it.
Yeah, not once. So that was episode 7 of Christian Night Podcast. Good. I think it was 7. I might upload it as 6. I don't know. But hope you enjoyed. Our links are in the description. All our social media and everything, as usual. Anything you want to add?
I hope you thought it was interesting. If you have some experiences, but throw them down in the comments. You know, if you have any other ideas for, you know, topics you would want to hear us discuss or whatnot, or really, like, I would like to see some people's, you know, theories on stuff that they've seen and just stuff that's similar to what, you know, we talk about, because, you know, there's a reason that there's a reason that you listen. So share your experience.
Yeah, I'd love to hear if other people had any similar experiences to any of this. I know there's a lot of people out there, not majority, but I know there's a lot of people out there.
There'll be a lot of people same stuff as us. I'm sure it's not cut and dry the same, but something similar. So,
Thanks, guys.
My podcast.
Talk to you guys next time. Peace.